Hello again, Jackson here. Welcome to the channel. Nice to have you as always. If you want to make block themes, if you want to make and build block-based websites using full site editing and the block editor, then you're going to need a starter theme. Oh yes, you are. And if you haven't got one, this is the video for you, dear WordPressers. You see, the thing is, whilst there are some absolutely brilliant starter-ish kind of themes, things like Ollie, Frost, Powder, three top ones there. Plus, of course, you've got the default themes, 2025, 24. Well, they are, in my humble view, still just a little, too much. I mean, they're not bloated, ridiculous. It's not like getting a theme forest theme from 10 years ago. But if you're building a website from scratch to a design, or you want to build a website and design it in the browser, for example, you want to start from a completely blank canvas. And those themes come with tons of style variations and like a shed load of patterns and fonts and all that sort of stuff. Let's face it, won't be anything like the design that you've been given to build, or you've chosen to build, or you've designed to build. What you actually need is just the essential files and settings required to get building and designing from scratch once you press the activate theme button. And that's what my starter theme has always been. It's always been my very own blank slate. It's where I start every single project, when I'm building a brand new site. And although it's super lightweight, no bloat, zero bloat, it's packed with just enough of all the essential functionality that I know I'm going to need for pretty much any site. Generic stuff like, responsive controls for blocks in general, huge one, massive one, that. But other stuff like, hover state on buttons. I mean, come on. Button variations. So it's got code built into it that you can then, example code built into it to provide stuff like that, because you're always going to need it. And rather than, take a 2025 theme or an Ollie and pull out all the stuff you don't use or you're not going to use, start with the most basic, simple, bare bones, blank slate, so you've got no clutter each and every time. Okay, so what have we done for version 4? Well, the files have had a bit of a shimmy, nothing major going on there. Slicker, a bit more consistent. I've added more code examples in the functions.php file for things like custom styles and registering pattern categories, all stuff you actually will need when building out a project. But the big one is the Responsive CSS Framework. It's had a complete overhaul with tons and tons and tons more CSS options for use with the CSS Class Manager plugin. More about that in a little while. All right, plus I've got a super lightweight, very, very cheeky way of adding icons to your buttons. Oh yes, very cool, very, very cool stuff. Right, so let's get into this demo. It's the starter block theme version 4. Right then, we've got a pretty vanilla install of WordPress here. We see that we have got running 2025 theme. And look here, what have we got? We have got the starter block theme version 4. Yes, we have, ladies and gentlemen. Let's activate that. And you see that we get this notice. Now, this is because, like I say, I've baked the CSS Class Manager and the CSS Framework, my responsive framework for native core block theming, into the theme, and it's just a little prompt to go search the repo for the CSS Class Manager plugin and finds it where you can install it and activate it. Obviously, if you're not interested in that, dismiss this message forever, but we need this. We're going to need this. Let's activate that. So theme installed and plugin installed. Let's go take a look at the file manager, and here we've got the theme opened in VS Code. Now, I've left this here because that is actually all you need, file and folder structure for a blank theme. But clearly, there's a lot of work that you'll need to do to get your basics right, and that's what this theme is all about. So version 4 is just a little tidy up on a few bits and pieces with the templates and the patterns, all almost identical. And I'm not going to show you every last little tweak, but you'll see in the assets folder we've got CSS now for the block styles. More about that in a second. The CSS framework itself, a lot more about that in a second. And this icon font CSS. This is my new bonkers new, lightweight, super cool way of getting icons on my buttons and elsewhere using an icon font. Oh yes, more about that in a second. There's an include folder, which is just the logic to show the notice to remind you to install the CSS Class Manager plugin. Parts are the same, footer and header, a little tidy up there. Patterns, obviously for the footer and the header. And like I say, this doesn't come with patterns, but I did include this style guide. More about that in a second. So let's go over to the functions.php and you'll see, yes, indeed, we do actually have the framework CSS built in because you're going to need it. And that's that font icons. Show you that in a second. Usual stuff. We also include the stuff on the front end. That's for the editor up there. And this is the rather cool part where the CSS Class Manager plugin, thank you, Eddie, once again, allows you to now grab the classes that you want to see in the drop down, see that in a second, by looking at the CSS file. So you don't have to load them separately, import them or load them through a sort of PHP script, which is what I was doing before if you've been following this theme or the CSS responsive plugin. Anyway, that is super cool. You only have to maintain it in one place. Tons of examples for registering block styles. Very, very important because this is probably the one thing you need to know about block theming that is a bit codey, but because I've got examples here, it allows you to copy, paste, change, tweak, whatever. Little update on the way that the CSS is handled for these register block styles. As you noticed earlier, in the block styles, we've got blue button, and there's our text button. Show you those on the front end in a sec. What this means is that we can maintain the CSS in a CSS file rather than writing it in line, which was the previous example I gave you. So that's super cool. I have got some inline stuff going on here, which is using Unicode to make a check mark instead of a bullet point, or a arrow instead of a bullet point when we're talking about unordered lists. Show you that in the front end in a second. Also got an example of the registering pattern categories, and I've got actually another vid coming out on a couple of these hot tips for block theming, so stay tuned for that. Now, like I say, I don't include patterns per se like you would get in an Ollie theme or a Frost theme, because this is a bare bones starter theme, but I have included one, which is this style guide. Let me show you what that is on the admin. If we go to pages and add new page, call it styles, and we'll go get that that pattern, and it's that. It's just because, again, this is not me wanting to pack loads of features and functionality. It's that I always have to go get this sort of page from a previous project because I want to see my H1s, I want to see my buttons and paragraph styles and list styles. There's that check mark and the arrow for that custom block style. Very cool. And I just want it in one place. Now, don't get me wrong, there is the style book in the full site editor, but these are the core components I need every project to get them looking right with fonts and sizes and colors and all that sort of stuff, especially buttons. And I just like to have it in one place, and to have it as a pattern in the theme that I start with for every project, it was a bit of a no-brainer. Remember, I only include stuff which is generically required pretty much for every single project. Right, a little bit about those buttons. If we get the sidebar open here, you'll see that there's our regular fill button, there's our regular outline button, there's our blue button, and there's our text button. These two are built into the theme.json, apart from the hover state, because there still isn't a hover state. And that's our custom blue button with the hover state as well. And I always, 9 times out of 10, I'll need a texty kind of button. And then remember the font icons? Well, this is where this comes into play. So look, here's our button with an arrow. Now it's just a fill button according to this style. But if we look at the additional CSS classes, and remember on the class manager, once it's installed, you've got to go to your preferences and make sure show the control in its own panel. Otherwise that drops down into here, which is rubbish. You need it to hand because you're going to be using that a ton of times when you're doing all your CSS. So you see it's got a class on it, icon, button, arrow, right. Take that off, it goes away. You know, icon, chevron right, etc., etc. A full tutorial coming on this quite cheeky way of getting icons on your buttons. You can also do it inline using inline CSS. But like I said, full tutorial on that coming up. But I just thought it was a wicked way, a really lightweight way of getting a set of icons for your buttons. Because the great thing is that because it's a font, it's taking on the color from the parent. So whatever you make the text for the button, the icon obviously takes on its color, which I think is absolutely genius. So lightweight. And all I did was use the Ico Moon app, and this is like the old app, and like I said, tutorial coming on this. You select a load of icons, you create a single font file, you get all the code that essentially relates to kind of this, and you kind of get all this with the download of the font file, and it's all very straightforward. But like I said, watch out for the tutorial on that. I just think it's a brilliant way to get lightweight icons on your buttons. Love it. Oh, and there's tons. I mean, there's hundreds and thousands of free icons on Ico Moon. Anyway, back to it. And by far the biggest update is this CSS framework baked into the theme. And if you recall, when I did the CSS Class Manager plugin and my companion plugin for that, the way that we can control sizing, spacing, layout, all that sort of stuff at different screen sizes is genius. It's all CSS. It will never be made redundant by any updates to WordPress because it's just CSS. It's beautiful. Let's kick things off by looking at the actual CSS framework file. And yes, it is huge. Look at this. It's massive. So remember, as always, you need the plugin that's going to get your unused CSS removed because you don't want this loading on every page. Perf Matters is the plugin you need for that. Genius. And this CSS is stuff that I've built up over the years that I kind of know I'm going to need. Okay, so what's in version 4? Well, the update is that everything's been turned to Rem, better for accessibility. We've got all our variables there. We've got our sort of base styles for, default desktop, grids, layouts, and all sorts of bits and pieces. Again, everything in here is something that I've used and can use generically going forward. These are not project specific. And by the way, this file is only 30K when it's compressed, i.e. minified. So in that respect, you're not going to get told off by Google Page Speed Insights too badly. So then we kick off with having different styles for different widths. We're saying tablet is 9.2, and of course you can change these to suit your breakpoint. You can also add other breakpoints clearly with other classes and rules. You've got line heights, you've got padding top, bottom, left and right, X and Y, same with margin. You've got gap, for your flexes and your grids at different screen sizes, XY gap. We've got heights, great for if you've got a spacer that needs different height when it's on a different screen size. Image width. I mean, all this stuff is stuff that I built up over time to be able to, without thinking, go, okay, on mobile, that needs to be bang, 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 bang. Aspect ratio, different aspect ratios at different screen sizes, grid layouts, the order of stuff, like the columns can swap ordering on different screen sizes, justifying text left and right. Now, look out for the video for this because there's some groovy stuff that you will absolutely need when you're building out block themes that is just only available using something like this, a CSS framework, to take care of the stuff that WordPress core just doesn't do. Like I said, loads of odds and sods, Z-index even, just loads of stuff, and then the same for mobile. And you may notice one big change from the original CSS framework. We go back to this so we can see it in context. So let's get the heading highlighted. Let's get to our digital CSS. Now you see that the names of the classes have been changed, and this is because I wanted to make it much faster, because after, I don't know, a couple of years of typing padding dash mobile dash 28, I thought, you know what, surely padding dash m dash blah is going to be quicker, and it's what I was thinking. And so I spent quite a lot of time defining the rules, but it should be fairly intuitive. So padding on mobile is going to be 30. So let's switch to mobile. So we've got that on there, and you see that bang, we've got that padding going all the way around. Now if we go to font on mobile, well, let's make that 20. you can see how it starts to work. Now, a lot of this is spacing, but fonts do come into it as well. But it's way more than that. You know, we've got aspect ratio on mobile 1 at the square, 16:9, because you might have a nice image that looks great on desktop or tablet, but as soon as it might be a bit weird when it's in the mobile though. So things like aspect ratio, text align when you are in mobile. This is great for footers, because you might have columns with justified text to the left, but you kind of want it in like justified center, things like that. So little helpers that you just don't need to then go and write a whole a ton of CSS for when you're building out the sites and making them all nice and responsive. And there's just tons and tons of stuff, rearranging the order of columns at different screen sizes, hiding and showing stuff at different screen sizes. It's just kind of built in to this framework, which I guess is, like I say, is the number one update for version 4, along with a few other bits and pieces, as well as that cheeky button font thing. Anyway, it's free. It's a free download in the freebies. Go grab it. Link is, of course, in the description to go download the starter block theme version 4. And if you want a bit more intel on the CSS framework, I've done a separate video. I'm releasing it with this video, all about my CSS framework for block theming. But until next time, I shall see you later.